Aren't you tired of making losses every day? How was your weekend? I guess in losses. Did you recover the last loss? My name is Ravi, and this is going to be the first video of my YouTube channel, The Face of Failure. One thing is going to be certain in this market, that you are going to be fail. I trade in gold, and here, without wasting any time or giving introduction of my channel, I just want to explain one concept to you. If you want to improve your trading, if you are a day trader, then listen to me carefully. First, you need to make a money management rule. For example, right now I'm using a 50,000 account. I'm trading from a prop firm. So for that, in order to pass that account, I divided this account into 12 stop loss. So here is example how it works. So 50,000, but in here they are not going to give us all 50,000. I can only use 6% of the 50,000, so that would be $3,000. Now, in order to pass this account, I have to make $3,000 from this $3,000. So that means now I need to make 100% of the money if I want to clear this account only. So the way I trade is, I have divided this capital into 12 trades. So for example, if one of my trade is going to be a $250 SL, $250, that's going to be my stop loss, and I will plan for at least 1:4 or 1:5. So this thing will cover money management concept. The second thing would be your entry and exit. Even though your analysis is completely right, but if your entry is not perfect, then eventually you have to give a longer stop loss, a bigger one. For example, I have worked on my entry so well. Let me give you an example of my last trade which I did on Friday in gold. So here, let me switch to the 15-minute. That's the gold chart. This is my entry, $44,200. Right here, you can see, let me highlight this one, 44,244. Here I entered where market was coming down. See how perfect it is. And then my stop loss was 7 or 8 points somewhere here. So it was around $250. And I have booked the profit of $1,127, which would be at least more than 1:4.2 or 3, somewhere around 4.2 and 3. I always try to capture any trade bigger than 1:4 or 1:5. That's my target range. I can teach you the same entry concept because all of my entries would be similar. I am a reversal trader. And if you want to be the trader, then you need to learn one thing. What kind of trader are you? Do you have the answer of this question? If not, then nobody could make you a trader. You need to find out which method suits you better. Either it could be scalping, it could be a long-term trader, day trader, what you want to be. You don't need thousands of setups. You just need one setup that works. Don't chase accuracy. You are not going to find a perfect setup which will give you a millions of dollars. Every setup, if you are, for example, taking 10 trades, then out of all these 10 trades, if your 3 or 4 are right, but if you are chasing the risk reward of 1:4 or 1:5, then you are going to be a profitable. Simple as that. You just need to believe in your setup. You have to find your edge, what works better for you. The third thing I would like to talk about is analysis. The bigger the time frame is, the more accuracy it will provide. For example, here I will give you an example of my last trade where I entered and what was my logic behind it. So here let me transfer it to 4 hour time frame. If you see it closely, market is coming down, right? It's in the bearish trend. Here it's a 4 hour candle. So it's coming down, sharp fall, falling knife, then spend a little time in here where it was consolidating, then again started falling. After that it tried to go for a pullback, which was corrected, and again selling happened, then again pullback, and after that this scenario becomes very critical. Listen to me carefully. If market is coming down in 4 hours time frame and it is becoming very slow, like one candle after another, and it's not even trying to move 100 points, this momentum is very slow. That was my first point of entry. That's where I decided where I want to enter it, like what is going to be my trade. So first you will decide a trend. Here I have decided that I'm going to buy, not for a completely trend change, but at least a little pullback somewhere around this area or around 45,050. And my target was simple. I was just trading for 1:4 or 1:5. That's it, because this was the first trade of my new account. I'm trading from a 50,000 account. Now your analysis is complete, right? You have decided that you are going to buy from that level, but in 4 hour time frame you are not able to buy it, because if you buy it, then your stop loss is going to get very bigger, and that will ruin your risk reward. So what you will do is you will always use 15-minute time frame. Let's back switch to the 15-minute time frame and see a trend. So here where I entered. Now if you look at it closely, where it was the previous low of a previous market, if you let me slow it down, so this area right here, it's a previous low. What I will do is, whenever market is near to that range, I am a kind of as I'm explaining this concept, I will give you a live trade. I can see right here market is gonna get a smaller correction, so let me enter in a trade. I'll show you in a live market that how this works. So I'm going to enter with 25 lot, stop loss, sell. Now I'm only gonna work on $150 SL, that's it. And there you go. So I have placed the trade right here. Yeah, it gave me a good example. I will give you a good example of this one. While I was explaining it to you, and I realized that my setup is constructing there. As you can see, my trade is active. Now I will wait for the reversal. Here I would like to talk about one of the best skills of trading is working on your psychology. Once I have entered in a trade, then it doesn't matter if it's going to hit my stop loss or whether it's going to hit my target. But what I will do is I will not let my emotions to control myself. I will just wait quietly until either it reach my target or it reach my SL. So that's the way market always works. In the market, you need to be very patient. Simple as that. It could just hit my stop loss from here, right here, the one candle, and it could just hit my stop loss. That's fine. Whatever I'm making, I'm trying to show you alive. So my stop loss is $148 and my target is $540. So let's see what happens. But while you are waiting for this target, you don't need to be panicked. You don't need to exaggerate yourself. Just wait for the right time. Once your analysis is done, then you don't need to do anything else. Try to find the perfect entry when you entered in a trade. Now you will sit quietly and look at the market. That's what I'm going to do. That's the 5-minute candle. Still I am in the market. My stop loss is still safe. I'm trying to explain the fourth concept of what I've started. It is a psychological aspect. In any stock market, technical will work 30, 35, 40, 50% max. Then another 50% always will be your psychology. If you are not psychologically correct on the market, if you can't wait, if you are not the patient person, that you are going to lose money every single time. It doesn't care if my 4 stop loss, 5, 6, 7 stop loss gets hits. I only make 3 trades a day. That's it. Not more than that. If my 3 stop loss gets hit, then I'm done for the day. I will wait for tomorrow because there is always tomorrow when it comes to trade. Now, if, for example, if my stop loss is gonna hit right here, I don't care because my stop loss is only $150, whereas my target is $540. Out of 4 trade, if I only got 1 correct, then still I would be profitable. Simple as that. Maybe it could hit my stop loss. Maybe it could turn around and hit my target. But that's where you need to control your emotions. I have placed this trade just to show you how emotions and psychology works during the live trade. The price is very close to my stop loss. Will I be scared? I don't think so. Will I do a revenge trading? I don't think so. Why you gonna lose money in the market? Because you know that your view was not correct, but you still trying to prove, trying to feed your ego that your view is correct, and you are trying to make yourself right. No, you have to respect the market. You have to respect that why these things are not working. If it's not correct, then you will wait, simply wait. Here, if you know what your risk is going to be, then you will never lose money. I know that even if I'm wrong here, I'm not going to lose more than $150. That's it. But if I'm right, then maybe I could drag down this profit a little longer. Always try to hold your profit bigger. In that way, if you try to be, in any ways, if you will capture 1:10, 1:15 in one of the trades, then it will be so much easier for you to maintain the risk reward ratio, because then you have to be wrong 10 times to wipe out the profit that you made in just one trade. This is the last chance. If it will survive this stop loss, then I think we are very safe after that. But if this will not survive this attempt, then it's gonna hit my stop loss. Simple. See how it's going very close to my stop loss? I will not cut it short. There you go. It did hit. Now I will not try to make any trade right after it hit my stop loss. Why? Because ego trading, you need to avoid it completely. Do not engage in ego trading. Always try to accept your losses if it's coming from your planning. Simple as that. Keep it very simple. Do not try to engage in ego trading and try to capture one more trade which will enter in a longer capital loss. See here, you see these two trades? In this one, right here, my stop loss was $250 and how much I made? $1,127. In here, $150 stop loss hit. That's fine. I will wait for another setup which I am trading. I only trade reversal setups. I don't trade breakouts, nothing. I am a reversal trader and I only trade reversal trader, and I try to capture very sharp entry all the time. If it's not sharp, then maybe I will book my entry which is not perfect and then try to re-enter it. So as you can see, I don't care if market is gonna fall here from 1000 point, 2000 point, I will not enter. Once my stop loss get hits, I will wait. Wait to reappear my setup and then I will enter it. I hope this video will help you to learn a few concepts of market. I will try to make the same video during my entire YouTube channel. And those of you who were really wondering why I keep my YouTube channel name The Face of Failure, I have been failed so many times. I have been failed my entire life. And failure always sounds to me, it's very disappointing. You don't feel yourself, but that is a part of process. I believe in process. You see, I just gave you an example of how we failed here. But does it gonna define my trading career? No. It's only defining a moment where I made a decision and it was not right. Just that. I will not carry this loss right here to the next day, and I will not let it affect my psychology for the rest of the trade where I could be right. Simple as that. I hope it helps. See you tomorrow.